Hey all, hey all, hey all. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. I'm going to try to share my screen real quick. Hold on a second. So I should have set up some things before I got started. Good morning, all. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So the Dell, I don't know if my charger went out on the Dell or not, but thank God we have which we've been moving over to the MacBook Pro anyways. But I was still using because I don't have the adapter on the MacBook Pro for the second screen. So I was using the Dell for the second screen, and the Dell is not powering up this morning. So at any rate, we will, I just got to get an adapter for the MacBook Pro for the HDMI cord. Or maybe I just need to change out the cord to a USB. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Happy Monday, right? Everything seems to always happen on Mondays. So hope everybody's doing great. And, I was going through some things, I haven't been on. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I was at a truck convoy, many hours, very exhausting. And, try to help a friend. No good deed goes unpunished, I guess. But at the end of the day, I'm here. It's Monday. I'm exhausted from this weekend, as probably many of you guys are. We need a weekend from a weekend, right? Hi all. Good morning. And, but it's kind of funny because no matter where I go, even being up in Jacksonville, right? I always try to find work. So it's, and of course, everything's on my phone. My phone's a Samsung now. I've got the MacBook Pro, and so I've got to set up different apps to work because I didn't get the Apple phone to go with it. It's like, man, all this stuff that needs to happen to make things work well between each other. It just sucks a little bit, but it's funny because no matter where I go, I always find something to do to occupy my time. Even, sitting out there at the truck convoy, we start looking around. What is there to do? Well, Ted Bundy, killed a victim. His youngest victim, the one that gave him his death sentence, was in Lake City. I think it was like 30 or 40 minutes away from where we were. So yeah, you get in the car and you drive out there, and we went and visited her school where she was abducted. We went and visited her gravesite rather, and had a moment of silence, and just to honor her as one of the one of his victims. And then the other day, it's like there's something to be said about serial killers. Like we started with like Todd Kohlhofer, and then Kohlhofer, and then, is that all right? I had Kohlhoff, excuse me, Todd Kohlhoff. And we discussed and actually went out yesterday, Land O'Lakes. There's an unsolved case out there. His name's Chappie Franklin Banks, that they thought maybe the female serial killer, Eileen Warnes, may have had a hand in killing. So went out there and covered, just told a little bit about it. I've got to prepare all these videos. And then we also went out to the property of Billy Mansfield, which was a serial killer in Pasco. So it's like crazy because the trend of, covering these serial killers, it's a little spooky, being this close to so many. I mean, really, I was able to easily cover them here. They're in my own backyard, and just kind of freaky. And that wasn't the only one. Like there's Bobby Lee Long, killed a bunch of people in Tampa, Pasco, and Pinellas, and it's crazy. So I think I'm going to probably do a whole, as things, we're still covering Summer Wells, and there's so many children out there that are, missing. But in the filling in, it's like it's crazy. There's literally serial killers living in my backyard. Now, these are the ones we know about. These are the ones that have been arrested. These are the ones that either, paid with their life, living life sentences, or scheduled for execution. So it's like it's pretty spooky. I bet you if you guys did some digging around your own state, you would be a little weirded out too. I could be wrong. Richard Ramirez. I have to look that up. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, hun. What's going on with that convoy? I didn't understand. Oh, so it was just a so for Wicked Ways, it was just a supporting the truckers. There's a big truck thing going up to Washington DC, and as they were coming through Florida and heading to the Georgia stopping point for the evening, we actually got to wave at them and have our signs. We support truckers and stuff like that. So I got to tell you guys, and this is no joke. This is no joke. So I was driving, toward Jacksonville, and I stopped. I mean, everything was literally 379. Gas here was 379, 379, 379 through all these counties. So, I write, I'm texting Jonathan Lee Bridges. I'm texting him. And I said, you really should do a story on whether there's, price fixing, because I've never seen anything so uncompetitive in my life. Literally not three, some here's 378, some's 377, some's, 380, some's 379, none of that. Everything across the board, all the way like through 3 or 4 or 5 different counties, 379, 379, 379, 379, 379. I'm like, I've just never seen anything like that. So I'm not sure if he got the text message or not. Who knows? But I'm interested in finding out if there was. But I pull in, so I'm driving down the road, and there was this little mom and pop shop, and so they were the only one that were $3. Yeah, $3.55. I'm thinking, wow, 20 cents difference. 20 cents difference. I'm stopping here. I thought it was a joke. 20 cents difference. How can anybody be 20 cents different? So I pull into the pump. I get out. I make sure that it says, sometimes they say something on the sign, but when you get to the pump, it says something different. So I get to the pump. Sure enough, it says 355. I put the credit card in, push it, make sure it still says 355. It says 355, right? So I pull in at 355. I pump, I fill my entire tank up, which about killed me. It was almost $60. My car used to take $25 to fill up. $25, and I'm paying almost $60. I about fell over. Anyways, long story short, I pull out of the gas station, and the number goes from 355 to 375, just like that. Insane. 20 cents increase literally in front of my face. 20 cents. Boom. Just like that. And is Emma here? Oh, Emma. I'm not sure which Emma it is, but if it's my friend Emma, I've been communicating with her. She's still in the hospital. Hopefully she's doing better, and we're just going to continue to pray for a speedy recovery for her. And I got a chance to chat with her last night by email. Let me see if she's responded, but she's still in the hospital, still doing. There she is. Still doing okay. So, I mean, she's, it's just still, I think she's starting to feel a little bit better, but I just want to give Emma a shout out. We're still thinking of you and praying for you. So anyways, and so dovetailing back. So then we're sitting at this Pilot store right in Jacksonville off of I-10, waiting for the convoy to come through, which I honestly believe was a lot of the truckers, because they were held up, like they were supposed to be there, I think, like at 2, then 3, then it was 5, then it was 7. They didn't roll through there until 9:15. I think many of them rolled right through because they had a Georgia checkpoint where they were all going to be sleeping. They had shower facilities, portalettes, and They were going to have a prayer session in the morning and then make their way on to Virginia and DC. So, anyways, we were standing out there. We get there, and I want to say the gas price on that side was 3.96, because the travelers whatever next door was 3.99, and then I believe, while we were standing there, it turns right over to 405, like right before our eyes, 405, just like that. So it's insane how crazy these gas prices are starting to get. It's making me a little concerned. I'm hoping that they, open up some supplies here in the US to help, counter those prices, because I don't see how. I'm hearing that it's going to be up to $7, if something doesn't give here soon. So, we all need to be very cognizant of that. Watch it. You might want to, start talking to somebody in your county, cities, states, something, to have them open up some supply. What it is a shortage in supply. We have a lot of gas and oil here in the United States, so that are in reserves right now, and they can use some of that, just to help get us through, to keep the costs down, so it doesn't break the family. I know, we're not all made of money, right? So, at the end of the day, I just thought that was interesting. Literally within a 2-day period, I literally watched a gas go from 355 all the way up to 405 in a matter of 24 hours. I've never seen that in my lifetime before. I never personally watched, things go up. Sorry, I've been having some allergy issues here lately. I don't know where they're coming from, but apparently it's the season for allergies. I've been sneezing all over the place. So, good morning. Good morning. So anyways, I didn't have a lot of time to go through a bunch of stuff. So, I've been watching Candus like a hawk, and her friend, the unknown child behind Candus that day at the hotel room was her friend's kid, not her friend's grandkid. At least that's not what they said. They said it's my kid, so it's her kid. So Candus had some help on her last live. She decided to do a Q&A, and it's like, what, all these people, like, I have multiple questions for her, but they don't want to talk about the questions I have. They want the lighthearted Q&A. What do you like in your coffee? What? She's talking, and that's what you guys hit her with. There's allegations coming out from the sheriff that you're not cooperating, and you've lawyered up. No questions about that. What? What is, I try not to get frustrated. Here's my problem. I was watching one of these creators, actually ran, an interview with him, right? Watching a creator talking about the West Boys, right? The Cow City Boys. And, going through this whole thing about, I had to do what's right. Due process. Listen, you can do what's right when you do your due diligence. There's nothing worse than sticking up, unless you're just all about the money and the clicks. Unless you truly are just about the money and the clicks, right? If you don't do your due diligence and you keep protecting the parents, and you keep going out of your way to protect the parents, and then find out these horrible, despicable things about them, and then you try to explain yourself, to make yourself feel good, like you're right, you were wrong. You wouldn't help somebody that did such a despicable act to a child, and you're trying to convince yourself that that was okay. That God sent you somehow to protect a monster that most likely had their children help, because you didn't do your due diligence, because you refused to listen to the information, follow the evidence, follow the body language, and you stuck up for such despicable people. That's what I never want to be. I never, ever want to be that. Ever. I would deal with everything I have dealt with over and over and over again to be on the right side of the argument down the road when everything comes out. I would never. I would roll over. I would die, literally die before I help a parent and then find out later that not only did they do something with their child, they had their other children participate. I would die. There is no excuse for that. You know what? If I ever got sucked in and was manipulated to the point that I believed that and found out not, I would work on making sure that never happened again, not providing myself excuses as to why that happened. As to why that happened, right? Summer Wells, no different. I am not going to slob the knob of Don and Candus to get interviews with them or anything like that, especially when I know what they are capable of, right? We were able to get conversations recorded, interviews done with Don without even having to do that, with standing on our own 2 feet and still being loud and the opposing voice to their BS. And guess what? We still were able to talk to them. I was still able to be who I was and still get the interview that I needed. I did not have to sit there and act fake or sell my soul to the devil or stick up for people that will most likely be in a lot of trouble here in the near future. I could never, ever do that. Ever. And you know what? This idea that we have to take on cases, even if you want to go and find the parents that are truly innocent and stick up for them and help them through the process, do that. If through your due diligence, through your investigation, through you talking to people, if everything comes back and that person is innocent, truly innocent, jumping to the conclusion of innocent before guilt and helping them financially, helping them, muscle people and move people along and take the focus off the case and do some really dangerous things. If that's not the person you are and you truly want to help, you don't have to take every single case, right? You can choose which cases you cover and which cases you don't if you want to be on the side of the parents. But to take every high profile case related to a child and be on the side of the parent and then find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people, different parents are responsible for the disappearance, what is that showing about you? No integrity. No integrity in your reporting. Who can trust what's being said out of your mouth if people keep seeing all these things going on? I won't do it. I won't do it. Good morning, everybody. Ouch, sorry. Good morning. Good morning. Get your cup of Joe if you have it. Welcome to Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. It is morning. It is Monday morning. Oh my goodness. We are starting a new week. I've got some sad news to tell you guys. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. It looks like tomorrow is going to be the last video for the week. I'm going to try like hell to come live if I can. But I am going to an event that's going to be from Wednesday to Sunday. And I don't want to promise you guys that I'm going to be here for a live when I might not. So if I get on live, you guys will be lucky. If I can't make it, I don't want to be disappointing. After Sunday, the Monday, so we're going to have today and tomorrow, and then I'm not going to have anything. And I'm sorry. It's not that I have nothing to talk about. I got plenty to talk about. I got some computer issues going on here. Like I got videos that I wanted to show you of Billy Mansfield, which is the serial killer. And this crazy thing is, listen to this. If you guys haven't, gives you guys some time to research, do some research so we can have a productive meeting and stuff. Billy Mansfield is one of them. Chappie Franklin Banks is the other, not a serial killer. He is a 31-year-old cold case out in Land Lakes. 31-year-old cold case. His case has gone unsolved for 31 years. It was truly sad. But the weird thing is, I just got so many questions about this case, and after 31 years, you got to think that maybe evidence has already been destroyed, or just not good. I hope the law enforcement in Pasco County, they had the cold case unit. I hope they pick up the Chappie Franklin Banks, because there's just a lot of weird inconsistencies there. There really is. And from all accounts, everybody loved this man, right? And he came from New York. But the weird thing is he was 56 years old. He had never been married before. He had no children. Um, and he befriended up in New York a husband and a wife, where he moved in with them in New York. And then the husband and the wife decided that they wanted to, well, they all three found Land Lakes as this sleepy town, and all three bought a house together. Like, I don't know, even if my best friend and if I would be willing to buy a house with them, because what if you move on with your life? What if you get married? How is everything going to be divided? Who's going to buy out who keeps the house? All these things come in with that conversation. So I just find it odd, that, and then not only that, that morning he was a creature of habit. He left his house at 7 o'clock on the dot every morning. This particular morning, he stopped by the ATM. He got some money. I don't know how much money. It's an undisclosed amount, maybe 20 or 40 bucks. I can't imagine. He was a very frugal man from all accounts, so I can't imagine it was some elaborate, exorbitant amount of money. But anyways, he stopped by the bank, got some money out, and went on to work. Like any normal day, started his coffee pot, put his orange and his banana on his desk, and started working. He loved getting to work early. I wish I had a photo of it. Maybe I can pull one up, but my computer won't even share right now, because I gotta restart it, and I'm not gonna restart it in the middle of a show. So, and I can't get the other one working. Do I have a picture of him on my phone? Let me see if I can just pull up a picture of him on my phone. Probably be the easiest, right? Probably be the easiest. Let's see what we got. So anyways, I was out there. Oh, there's a photo of him. Move this up to the top. So that was, let me see if I can do that. There he is. That's a photo of him. That is Chappie Franklin Banks. He doesn't like Chappie. He doesn't like Chappie. He went by Frank. So anyways, so we were at the Wisteria Plaza where he was gunned down. They actually thought it was Eileen Warnes. She was the only one of the first women serial killers that were put to death here in Florida. And they thought she was responsible for this. And in all the archived articles prior to this, they did point the finger toward Eileen Warnes. And Eileen Warnes, in as far as by 2013, was eliminated as a suspect because they had confirmed that she was at a pawn shop in Daytona. And here's the kicker. So in this particular case, the roommate said they weren't there. He always went home for lunch every day religiously, like clockwork, just like he went to work on time, just like he came home at the same time. Very organized, very specific. And I always got the weird vibe just from reading the articles about him living with this husband and wife for 17 years and, buying a house with them. And there just seemed more to that story than met the eye. I have no idea if there is. That's just my speculation. And, when you read this, something just doesn't sound right to me. It just doesn't sound right to me. So, anyways, in the article, it said that there was a married woman that he was alleged to have been seeing and sleeping with. And I keep coming back to the husband and wife that lived in this home, because in his office, that was one of the things. He was shot. And the reason why they eliminated Eileen Warnes is because she used a handgun. This was a shotgun. she typically lured men in from the streets. So they thought maybe on his way to work, he might have picked up a hitchhiker or something like that. And the car was actually parked not too far from one of her, um, hotel rooms that she was staying in. And of course, it had the MO of her, scraping off the bumper sticker and stuff like that. So I don't know. But I find it awfully funny. This is what I find funny, is that his roommates knew his behaviors like clockwork, right? But yet they didn't call him in until 11:30 at night that he was missing. Like, if he's home every day at 6 o'clock, or he always calls, and you haven't heard from him, say by 9, I would think that by 9 o'clock, you guys would be ready to call the law enforcement even sooner. If you absolutely believe that he has never not come home, it seems to me that you'd be calling the sheriff's office, starting around 7:38, calling the sheriff's office. Yes, whipped cream today, guys. Whipped cream on the coffee. I've got I got the peppermint mocha. It is Monday in the whipped cream. So it is Monday. Treating myself to a cup of joe. And making sure it doesn't hit the tip of my nose. So anyways, I'm putting together the video. I'll get that out there to you guys, but it's very interesting. So his name's Chappie Franklin Banks, Land O'Lakes, if you guys want to review the case. But it's just, I don't know. I just keep coming back, and now I've done absolutely no investigative work on this. This is just preliminary thoughts that I came with as I'm reading this article about him and about his case. And it just, that with the office not being disturbed, and there being no struggle, and nobody broke in, and his necklace, his gold watch, and his gold ring were still on his person. It's not really, and they've eliminated, even though his wallet was taken, they've eliminated robbery as the motive. It just seems personal, it just seems personal. And I keep wondering, did he have an affair with the wife of his roommate? And did something transpire there? Was it truly the roommate? Was it closer than anybody thought? And that's where I'll leave that story. I'll prepare the video and get that posted, and we'll chit chat about that. So I've got some, you guys want to stay tuned tomorrow. I got some, I'm doing an interview this evening that I think you guys would love to see, and I'll be running it and airing it tomorrow. I want everybody to be here. It is about Summer Wells. It is an author of a book. And I'm going to be speaking with this author of this book around 5 o'clock tonight, and interviewing this person. And I will be streaming it live. Well, it won't be live. I mean, I'll be streaming the interview on our live in the morning for our coffee club. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to ask him any questions. But I will be happy to, send some questions over later, if possible, if it's something that we can't answer together. So, it's really exciting. So I'm really kind of, just, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I think we're going to have a good meeting, a good interview, and a good, conversation with this person. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice. What does it say? No, I just go to bed early. I go to bed really, really early. Like, I'm in bed by like 8:30. Last night I was out like a light, It's crazy because my ex, the one I'm getting a divorce with, wanted to chat. So I chat with him last night. So hopefully he brings me the money he owes me. We'll see. Knock on wood. So our final divorce is April 11th. April 11th. I'm kind of getting excited. I think he's kind of getting excited. I think we're both ready. A lot of people, thank you. A lot of people don't realize, just because you guys get a divorce and you don't have to be nasty. Like, Vince and I, we were really good friends, and that was the problem. We lived like friends and roommates as opposed to husband and wife. You know, he had his room, I had my room. That went on for 4.5 years, and I was just tired of it. You know, we worked together, we ran a business together, but and we did good. You know, we very rarely argued, and it just got to the point where we had like literally nothing in common, and it just wasn't that. So, anyways, you know, we still remain friends. The only high contentious issue that we really had was over the dogs because they were his dogs, and he should have taken the dogs with him, and he didn't. And so the dogs didn't get to stick together. You know, I'm all over the United States. I can't take care of his dogs, and so I had to send him to a rehoming place, which was lovely. You know, it's no kill, and I recommend, you know, to anybody out there that has animals, you know, there are some things that happen in life. For example, you know, my ex ran off and left his dogs here. I mean, those dogs, I didn't take care of them. I love, don't get me wrong, I love animals, but it's not fair to to the animal to have them outside all day because you are gone for 8 to 10 hours. It's not fair for my neighbor to have to come over and take care of the dogs because I'm gone for weeks on end. It's not fair to the dogs. It's not fair to the people that want to help. It's just not fair. The dogs were not getting the love and the attention that they truly deserved. And so a lot of heart gut wrenching decisions went into um, the animals, right? So you have to put your animals' well being above your own. Would I have preferred keeping them here? Of course. But was it fair to? Of course not. So the next best thing is reaching out to a rehoming service and having them rehomed. And that's exactly what I did. It's a no kill process. And it was very quickly. You know, my dogs were very well trained, behaved dogs. Vince spent a lot of time with them. You know, they sat when you told them to sit. And you know they were great. You know, they were great. So they're off with their new homes, then, and they're very happy. They're very healthy, and that is the best part of it. You know, that's the best ending to something so terrible. So, anyways, long story short, that was the only contentious issue that my ex and I had. But we have always remained friends throughout the process and things of that nature. So I'm very excited to finally, and I think he is too, to finally have the piece of paper. I'm ready to have the piece of paper. I'm ready to be fully divorced and know that my life is truly my own. And I wish him the best. He wishes me the best. I'm pretty sure after, you know, our divorce is final, we're probably going to go across the street, have a drink and a slice of pizza and celebrate, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we are friends. And I don't think a lot of people realize that you can have disagreements. You can, you know, separate, even divorce, but you don't have to be nasty to people. You really don't have to be nasty. And if you want, even if things don't go your way, you know, it's a give and take scenario. You know, I had a lot of my own personal finance money, money that I acquired prior to our marriage that went into building his business. I let all that go. You know, I purchased this house with money that I had acquired through my businesses and stuff like that prior to my husband. So I had to leave. I had to let some things go in order to maintain to keep the house. So it's, you know, it's a give and take. It's a give and take. So I hope people this day and age, you know, are responsible enough that, you know, if you get in a marriage, you can be just as kind getting out of the marriage as it was going into the marriage. And I really do believe that that's what Vince and I have always tried to maintain. You know, that maturity about the not only the marriage but the divorce. We've never attacked each other. We've never talked poorly about each other. Um, we agreed to disagree, and it was time. You know, he's had several girlfriends. I've had men are so much different, right? Like they get on with their lives so much easier. I don't know how that happens, but they do. They do. They just have no emotional connection. But I got to say, I was a little taken back by the one he was with last night when they stopped by. Like it was, she was, mm, but that's okay. That's okay. At any rate, What did you guys think about Candace's wish list? I am a wish list person. And it's funny because I got no problem with people's wish list. What I have a problem with is that you can't be on the side of justice for Summer and support her mother, because you don't know if her mother is responsible at any penny that you provide to that woman, and then find out she's responsible for the disappearance of her daughter. You just financed the biggest monster of them all. And I'm sorry. It's like whenever you hear about a sex predator, whether you believe it or not, you don't go and leave your children with that person to babysit your child alone. Like, you just don't do that, because you have to err on the side of caution. No different with the Cash App, no different with the wish list items, no different, no different. And so it's not the wish list, because and their explanation was, subscribers said, hey, do a wish list. That's exactly how I got into it. And you heard how I was treated over it. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is shame the people that are sponsoring the wish list. Right? Like, you have to err on the side of caution. You can't be financing people that could have been potentially involved in the disappearance of their child. Do you know how sick and twisted that makes the people that are helping finance them? Err on the side of caution. You can throw money and buy her everything in this world once she's cleared by law enforcement. Why not do that? Why are you funding to fix her entire house when she could have been responsible for the disappearance of Summer? You can't finance the monster that did something to Summer and then scream justice for Summer on the next breath. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but you look pretty despicable where I sit. I don't drink. I drink coffee. I don't drink. Occasionally I'll have a cocktail. Literally occasional. One. Jeez. That's okay. You want to, I don't understand how that was irrelevant in today's conversation. Let me just put it up there so people can see. When has anybody ever seen me drunk? I can tell you my friends haven't even seen me drunk in a really long time. Really long time. Not even tipsy. Not even tipsy. So I don't drink in excess. I know. There's been, we've had a couple people reach out to us. They wanted us to do a third trip, but the problem is the way, we've always, our trips are always sponsored. So like when we went out to cover Gabby Petito and Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner, the TikTokers got together and financed that trip. They didn't want to finance Summer Wells' trip, and we were on YouTube, I believe, right about that time. We were starting to come on to YouTube, and then we went back to TikTok, and we were talking about it, and they were so concerned about our safety they didn't want to sponsor it. But we figured the prices was cheap enough, we could drive there and everything like that, and decided to finance the trip ourselves. And so that's how we went out there on the first trip in December out there. And of course, everybody knows the ending of this second trip and the our first trip and the everything that transpired in the second trip. I'm not going to go into it. So that was sponsored. So this third trip, all the problems we had with the first trip, with people looking into it more than us just going out there to fact find. They heard I was coming. They were like, oh, she's going to protest. I never said I was going to protest. I said if I needed to get my bullhorn out, I would. And people took that, of course, you leave them to their own sick and twisted and demented minds. They read into a lot more than they should have, because on that trip, all we did was a fact finding trip. We literally we got all the paperwork, we got all the reports, we got all the incident reports, we got all the arrest reports, we got all the call logs, we got, seriously, like left to their own devices, people, they go straight to this to, oh, bad, 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 bad. So it's just how it is. Please. Yeah, right. I know. I probably shouldn't. You're right. I shouldn't. But it's so stupid. People are so stupid. Seriously. So for my mods, anybody that's being disrespectful in here, time them out. If they're disrespectful a second time, go ahead and block them. We do want to try to keep, you know, I don't want to be blocking everybody, for comments. If they're constructive criticism and they're respectful, we want to make sure that they're not blocked or censored in any way. But people that are just here to gaslight and be jerks and idiots, yeah, let's just go ahead and kick them out. Now, the other option is like today, I've been trying to not throttle the forcing people to be a subscriber to participate in these um, coffee clubs, but I have no problem putting another, where you have to subscribe for 3 days before you can comment. I have no problem doing that whatsoever. But I feel like that's punishing the people. So I've been doing it for 5 hours because I figured, if they make a mistake and they get kicked out of here, they have to resubscribe with their new YouTube channel 5 hours before they can respond again. So it really throttles them to making one insulted comment before they're booted. So I don't mind doing that either. So we're trying to try to keep moving in the right directions. But if for any reason things start getting too out of hand, I will add those throttles on here without a problem. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I also wanted to make sure that people knew that, we're giving them some opportunity. I don't mind. This is the problem. Everybody wants to talk out there and in the world and say that I don't like opposition. No, I don't like nasty people. You want to come in here, you want to air your opposition, you want to tell me where I'm wrong, fine. But you're going to do it respectfully. And if you can't do that, you don't need to be here. And as a matter of fact, if you don't like anything I say, why watch me in the first place? That's the problem I don't get. Like, I don't go out there and watch people I don't like, except one, Candus lied. Can't stand looking at her. Can't stand hearing her voice because I know what she's capable of. And I just keep waiting and waiting. Like, I want her to be on a live when she gets that knock at the door. I really do. I want to be on the live when she gets that knock at the door. I want to see her. I want to see those law enforcement officers come in there and take her out. I will be standing up, hooting and hollering. I am telling you, if I find out her and Don are charged with this, I am leaving that moment like that and heading to Tennessee. I really am. I don't care if I'm going on fumes. I am heading to Tennessee. Let me go back. I've been missing a lot of people's comments. Let's see what we got here. Hello, Betty Fan. Hello, hello, hello. Good, good. And that's the way it should be. Even if you don't like, even if, we all have our differing opinions, and that is fine. But again, you can be a real jerk or you can be real nice. You can say what you mean what you say, and not say it mean. I come here, I'm very blunt, I'm very pointed. Those are the rules of my channel. I decide to break my rules. That's for me to do, i.e., Bullhorn Betty channel. Yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot of missing children. We do a lot of cases, period. We really do. We cover a lot. I mean, I've been going, I got to put all the stuff together, but I even been going around covering the, if you watch the beginning, the serial killers. And the thing, I think the reason why I'm kind of starting to move over to the serial killers a little bit is because I know there's more victims. Serial killers just don't kill for 3 years and then they're arrested and they're locked away. I mean, there's things that people just don't know about that they had to do to perfect their skill, So, and everyone I go to, people say there's more, there's more, there's more. I mean, there's just some twisted people here that walk among us that look innocent. And you would never think even that Todd Colehep, like he lived in beautiful homes and looked normal. and was wealthy, that had a pilot's license and multiple properties in different states, nobody in their right mind would have ever thought that man was a serial killer. So, hmm, interesting. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look that up. That's very interesting. There's stuff going on. There's stuff going on in that area. Curious to find out who it is, what happened. Um, this might be very telling. I don't think it's associated with Summer Wells, but you never know. I mean, that county is small, but I can tell you there's a lot of um, drugs and unsavory things that go on in that county that go unchecked. And there's not a whole lot of people in their county jail, from what I can see, that accompany all the crime that's going on there, which is one of the issues I have and why I'm not the biggest fan of Ronnie Lawson. You're either for law and order or you're not. And if you're for law and order, when people break the law, they go to jail. That's how it works. And even suspected, if they're suspected of breaking the law, they go to jail. That's what the process is for. That's what the probable cause affidavits for. That's what the courts are for. I don't think law enforcement should be judge and jury. They should be the investigative body and the investigative body only. So I agree. Hey, Andrew. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, yeah, and that's the problem I have. That's the problem I have is that, here we got people telling her to set up wish lists and stuff like that, and Cash App. The bottom line is parents are the first that are eliminated in children and child abductions, disappearances. They're the first to be eliminated. They should be the first to be eliminated so they can move on to other suspects. When you start hearing that other suspects have been eliminated as possibilities of having any involvement, but the parents hadn't, it causes me concern. Another thing is I go through Wikipedia, I go through Google searches, I go and troll Twitter, trolling not in the nasty sense, just trolling, going through all of the pages associated with Summer, reading through everything. I really don't comment on anything, so it's not like a gaslighting type of thing. Maybe trolling's not the word I use for it, but I just go through all these pages and read all the information from all these different sources and stuff like that to see what people are thinking, gauging their opinions and things of that nature. And so while I was going through here, I keep coming back to who said Candus passed the polygraph. Law enforcement really hasn't come out to talk about this case at all, let alone that somebody's passed a polygraph. And so I'm going through here and just very curious as to where this whole polygraph, Candus passed this polygraph allegation came from. And so I did go across, this one spot on Brian Enton, where he said he talked to Ronnie Lawson, and Ronnie Lawson stated that Candus had passed her polygraph. But we never, out of the whole conversation and, Ronnie Lawson being on TV, we never heard it out of his own mouth. I never heard Ronnie Lawson say that Don or Candus passed their polygraph. I have not heard it. I've heard a couple people allege it. A couple people that aren't the law enforcement community alleged they passed this polygraph test. And so I kept going back and wondering who said this, who brought this up. And it appears that it all started with Don Wells, that Don Wells stated Candus passed her polygraph. Many people asked multiple times, over and over again, who passed the polygraph? He came out and said she passed her polygraph. We heard that she failed the first one. Is that true? How many times did she have to take it? But what I never heard, and I went back to check it myself. I went through the articles and everything. Nobody has ever talked really about Don's polygraph. Did Don pass his polygraph test? So even when they give you the suggestions on Google Chrome, it said, did Don pass his polygraph test? You drop down the little arrow and it says, Don stated on such and such date, Candace Bly passed her lie detector test. I'm like, the question, that wasn't the question though. The question was, did Don pass his polygraph test? Did Don do that? And so I'm just curious, I really am. I'm just curious. Let me go through here. Yeah. Aha moment. Yeah, I know. Oh, thank you. So I'm just, and I still keep coming back to, all these things, from the very beginning, because when we went out there, not one trip, but two trips, when we went out there, you know, we found out a lot. We found out an enormous amount. When we were going out there, people were coming out on YouTube. We don't even know if they were from Tennessee, to be honest with you. I don't know who these people were, but they were coming out of the woodwork saying, we don't want you here. We don't want YouTubers here poking around. We're the kind of people that shoot first and ask questions later. Okay. Well, we were prepared to get shot. Still wasn't going to stop us. Still wasn't going to stop us. So we go all the way out there. Come to find out, people are waving us down, literally waving our vehicles down. They wanted to talk to us. They wanted to tell us their story. We didn't even have to hunt for interviews. A couple of them we did, some important ones we did. But they were waving us down. They wanted to tell us their story in and around that mountain. They were happy. It came up, but we might, right now, many people don't realize, and I don't want to give too much of Olivia's information. She has another job. So she's had it for years. And something, a big deal has come up and come her way, a great opportunity. So she has been kind of dealing with that until that's done and closed. We've got to stay close to home because in order for her to participate in anything, it needs to be right in and around here. So the idea of us jumping on the plane and heading out is not something that we can do now. Jonathan and I could probably do that, but it's hard to do something like that without the entire team because our recording skills and editing skills are just not as good as Olivia's. And if we're going to be investing our money as well as, the money that you guys sponsor and stuff like that. We want to make sure that it's great quality and it's something that we can help and be beneficial on. So the Delphi murders, I mean, we can do preliminary work here, but, it's going to require us to go out and pull information and get some interviews. As you know, the reason why we like doing interviews face to face as opposed to over the computer like many other people is because I like to read people's vibe. I like to have the feeling. I like to absorb the vibe. I like to look at their body language. I like to look at a lot of different things. And you just don't get that from the neck up. You just don't get that. And it's very important for me in order for me to, trust, especially people that may have witnessed something, that may have, firsthand knowledge of stuff. I really like to read them. And I can't do that over a computer. So, and especially when it comes to these, like if it's something, if it's like an author and stuff like that, just getting some background, like I'm going to be doing tonight at 5, that's a different story. I don't mind doing that over the computer. When we're talking about cases with other professionals, I don't mind doing that over the computer. But when we're trying to collect information and get our opinion formulated and do the research and stuff, we've got to do that in person if we're going to be effective and we're going to be as close to accurate as possible. So, oh, thank you, Jay. Thank you. Yeah, root of all evils. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, and we are definitely, we're filling in some stuff. We're trying to, uh, you know, the team has been talking about, hopefully at the end of April, beginning of May-ish, we're hoping that we've already started talking and strategizing on something we're going to be doing out of state that we think is not only important to all of you, but important to the community at large. I can't go into it any more about it than that. It's going to be definitely educational, um, but we're definitely working on something, and it's looking like if everything works well, the team will be out of state at the end of April, beginning of May, to do this documentary. We'll go into more of that whenever we get done. So, how we're going to be doing, and I know a lot of people reach out to me quite a bit, about fundraising and stuff like that to fundraise for these trips. Because we can't come out and tell people what we're doing anymore, the fundraising has to be on the back end. So how that works is we put our money up to go out there, and then on the back end, as we start releasing the stuff that we're doing, we're hoping that you guys understand that there was real cost that went into this, and sponsor um, the documentary or things of that nature, through super chats, through PayPal, Venmo and things of that nature. But we've got to keep things under wraps because there's nothing worse than spending money and then being torpedoed. And so we're not going to put ourselves in that position moving forward. And we have to make sure that these stories get out there. They're important to you, they're important to the community, and they are important to the livelihood of the Bullhorn Betty channel as well. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll start diving into that. I won't have time to do it until next week. If you guys can remind me next week, I mean, I can put it on a piece of paper, but to be honest with you, it's not going. I'm going to be literally leaving tomorrow afternoon. So, good morning. Good morning. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. Oakley Carson needs people. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, but you know, I've already looked into that a little bit, and the parents are already. They already have an idea that the parents are involved. They've already got the parents in jail. With like Harmony Montgomery, I looked out there at the North End, Manchester North End in New Hampshire, and it appears that there are some large areas out there that need to be covered if they haven't already, where they could easily dispose of a child. It sounds disgusting hearing me say that out loud, but this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. I would love nothing more than not to live in this type of world where parents can just dispose of their children. And this is just sick. This is sick. Just sick. I'm sorry. Just it frustrates me so bad. Um, Anyways, there's some areas out there that I would have loved to check, and I was discussing those with Jonathan, just showing him the map, showing him some areas of concern that I think that they're huge. On the map, they look huge. Can you imagine what they look like in real life? They're huge. The areas are freaking huge. But there are two parks out there that I think are prime places that they need to direct their search, because the one thing that I have learned now, there's always outliers. So just because I've learned this through the process does not mean that this holds true for every single case. Every single case is unique. So, but what I do find true is that they never, it's never too far away from them, is what I'm saying. Usually when you dispose of somebody, for example, and I've said this before, Gabby Petito, she was literally 1,000 yards from where Brian parked the truck, right? Brian Laundry was literally 1,500 yards away from where he parked his car. Kathleen Moore, Colin Knapp killed her and put her literally 2 doors down. So it's like you get the picture, like they're not too far away from where they're at. People don't really think, not only that, but it's the whole carrying it and getting caught in your possession. That's why people usually dispose of things fairly close to them instead of going too far out, because nothing, I mean, what happens if you get in a wreck? What happens if you're speeding, you get pulled over, you're screwed. You got a corpse in your car. So that's why a lot of people go through their comfort zone and dispose of the body nearby versus far away. So when they said that after they were evicted, Harmony's parents were evicted from their home, they went and were living out of two cars at the North End Manchester. When I looked at the map of North End Manchester, there were some certain key areas that I would really like to focus on there. But again, it costs money, costs time. Delphi murders, I'm happy to look into them. I don't even know what state they're in right now, but I will definitely get myself an expert condition. I'll start, I'm taking my computers with me on my road trip, so I'll definitely have some time to do some research and get up to date on those to find out what I think may or may not have happened there. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning. So there are 300 people in here. So if you'd like, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already done so, go out and like this this episode here. Also, people always ask, how can they help? A lot of people are short on money, can't help financially. This is a 100% sponsored channel. You can go back out and watch previous videos. We are part of the AdSense program. So every time you watch an advertisement on one of our videos, you are actually helping make a difference here at the Bullhorn Betty channel. So just a little bit, a tidbit of help. So I hope that's helpful for you. Yes, I know. And it's hard not to be. It's hard not to be because there's so many moving parts. There's so many unknowns, and you always know there's more than what we know about. That's the thing. And it's like you want to find out. Like I wish there was a database, for cold cases and missing people. I wish they would, at a certain point, law enforcement would just put information out there, have a database where people could go search and help find information, as a tool. Because if the case is cold and it's not going anywhere, what does it matter if people know more details about that case? What does it matter? It's cold. You got nothing. I mean, look at Frank Banks, the one I was just talking about, Chappie Franklin Banks, 31 years. If it was his roommates, the roommates are now dead. They died. They were 94 and 89 back in 2013. It was 10 years ago. They passed on. They're in another life. So what at this point does it matter? Put everything out there. Tell us the case. Let people go look at it. At this point, what does it matter? Yeah. Yes, we met with the district. We met with the district attorney in the assistant district attorney in Hawkins County on our second trip. Yes, we did meet with them because we wanted. My biggest thing is, why aren't you charging them with crimes that are unrelated to Summer's disappearance? Why are they able to walk free with all the information that they have? Why are they able to walk free? And I was assured by the assistant state attorney that when charges came, they would be all inclusive. So they would be charging them. I didn't want to, I don't know. I just got to be careful with what I say. But they told me, I still to this day don't understand why they're not charging them with unrelated problems, unrelated stuff, focusing on them. I really don't. Because I think they should be in jail. No person that could potentially be responsible for a child's disappearance or somebody that has committed child neglect, child abuse, child endangerment should not be held accountable for those charges immediately, whether or not they had anything to do. Think about it. Even if they had nothing to do with Summer, which I don't believe. The whipped cream. Whipped cream makes the coffee. I'm going to get fat. But even if they didn't have anything to do with the disappearance or the child was abducted, who cares? It doesn't absolve them from the child neglect, child abuse, and child endangerment charges that they previously did, whether or not Summer was abducted. So why are they still not being charged with it? Those are the issues I have. Those are the issues I have. Those are the issues I've always had. And nobody can answer that question for me. Even the district state attorney, excuse me, the assistant district attorney alleged that, when the time comes, they will be fully charged with every crime that has been committed. Whether that's true or not, that's what was told me. Yeah. But she's not here. And quite frankly, he wasn't even in the area at the time. And it's because of he's the sex offender status for the videos. I mean, sometimes you got to understand, just because you look at photos and videos doesn't mean that you're going to make the leap from that to abducting a child. I'm sorry. Could it? Possibly, probably, but he wasn't even in the area. So if he wasn't even in the area, how could he have removed that child? That's the problem I have. That's the problem I have with the whole thing. The timeline, the location of him. That's weird. Do you think that Summer's parents are even a bit innocent? No, not even a bit. And that's for Jay Rizzo. No, I don't. I don't. I don't think they're murderers. I don't think this is an intentional act. I think something happened and they went too far. I really do. I think something happened. They could have gotten medical attention for her, but they got scared. They were already looking at DCS coming to their house the next day. And this is what they concocted. So, even that could change because a lot of people are alleging, other more horrific things going on in that household. I haven't found anybody that knows firsthand whether that's true, and that's why I don't go down those. I mean, I do provide my opinion and speculate based upon facts that I've received, but I'm not going. If I can't confirm the facts, I'm not going to go down that road. I'm not going to go down that road. So, I'll just leave it at that. As far as the other things that people think Don has done to Summer, that I can't find. Could it have happened? It could have. With his sisters coming out right after all this happened, do they believe that it could have happened? I believe so. I just can't find any information at all to go that far. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. But could if something have happened? Yes. I just find it odd that, she disappeared this in close proximity to the CPS work and not the boys. I find it odd, with some of the troubling statements that Don has personally told me. I find it troubling. I find it very troubling. Some personal statements Don has told others that I heard out of his own mouth on speakerphone. Very troubling things. Very troubling things. I keep wondering, was Don home that day? Did Don go to work in the morning and come home that day? Did he go back to work to concoct that he was the theory that he was at work? I don't know. All I can do is confirm what I can confirm, and I confirm that he was at work. That's all I can do. What time he left, when he went to lunch, I can't confirm. Now I heard that he left around 2:33 or 3:34, somewhere around there in that window. But I can't find anybody that actually physically saw him. But no, I do not think they're even the slightest bit innocent. Absolutely not. And if I really did, I wouldn't be fighting so hard against them. I really wouldn't. What upsets me is that people are sitting there on one side of their breath, justice for Summer, and on the other side, filling up Candace's Cash App. You can't have it both ways. You can't demand justice for Summer and then help somebody that has abused that child. Like, people don't understand. Even if Candace had nothing whatsoever to do with her disappearance, which is untrue, and they're going to have a hard, cold reality when this all settles down. They're going to have a hard, cold reality when all this settles down. And I hope some of these people can live with themselves, because I'm telling you, to me, their souls are black for funding this woman. That's just my opinion. Sorry if I'm disrespectful to anybody. That's not my intention. But I have to say, you don't go fund somebody that could be potentially. You can't say justice for Summer and go fund and fill up somebody that is an active person of interest in their child's disappearance. An active person of interest. Law enforcement just signaled to the public that they're looking in and around their house, that they're not cooperating and have lawyered up. And people still want to help them financially. What? What? Are you serious? I'm sorry. I don't believe Christians should be supporting people that could be responsible for the disappearance of their child. You know what you do? You let the chips fall where they fall, and then you can go back and support them once they're cleared. That's the right way to handle that. I would never be able to sleep at night if I provided a monster 1 cent. Yeah, and grandma's story changed too. Think about it. Grandma's story changed too. Now she was sleeping. Who knew? Now she went and took a nap. When did that happen? When did that become part of the story? That's the problem. That's the problem. Oh, thank you, Crystal, for becoming a new member. We appreciate all of our new members. If those that want to sponsor this channel on a monthly basis, there are 4 ways to sponsor. We have 4 different levels of sponsorship. So please don't hesitate to go over there and join for a monthly sponsorship and keep this channel up and going. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. We appreciate it. You are a valued member here. Thank you. Thank you. You know, people are saying he lied. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not a Ronnie Lawson fan, but let's play the tape through. What purpose would he have to lie? What purpose would that man have to lie? Bluffing? How would bluffing help? If we look at what benefit it would provide for him to have lied, what benefit? Then maybe we can determine, if we play the tape through, whether we think Ronnie Lawson is lying. I personally don't think he's lying, because my thing is, what has he gained by that lie? And law enforcement just doesn't come out and lie, because they're going to have to explain that in the court of law. And you don't want to, when you're in the court of law, it's hard. You see what I'm saying? Now you're going to be tagged as somebody that misrepresents. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So I don't see what benefit Ronnie Lawson had about coming out. And no matter how many people want to twist words and say, oh, this attorney's for this and this attorney's for that, you don't know that. You're only saying that because that's what you heard. What I heard is she had an attorney, Candus, 3 days prior to to Ronnie Lawson making that statement. So coming and now telling me that you don't have an attorney and you're cooperating seems like you're lying. Because even when I had my interview with Kitty, sorry, scratch that, Benny Keys, back in January, he talked about her lawyers. And I have said over and over, I don't see where these parents have been cooperating in months. Parents want to know what's going on with their missing children's case. They're blowing up law enforcement's phone. You're not getting that from the Wells. They're hiding. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to have to answer questions. People that are looking for somebody don't care about themselves. When they're innocent, they don't care about themselves. I've seen it over and over and over again. They don't care. They put everything out on the line. They don't even care if they go to jail. Find their loved one. They don't care. They want to just find their loved one. And then you make it a child and you're not doing everything you can, putting yourself out there. I mean, hell, I'm out here. I get crucified every day for coming out here and talking about this child and fighting for her. I'm tagged as a scammer, a grifter, God knows what else. It still doesn't stop me from coming out here and saying her name. And then you got somebody like Candus that wants to talk about what she needs for her home. Why don't you throw TBI, 1-800-TBI find up on your channel, Candus? Why don't you talk about your daughter? Talk about where you and Don searched, where you think she may be, who you think she may have abducted her. Something. Not about you and and where's Benny and I need flooring for my house. Talk about your daughter. It was sickening to me to watch that Kraken Cases interview with her, and Cam's out there reading these sincere, deep stories that people are posting on his thing, saying, you know, Candus, we love you. We're here for you. I can't imagine what you're going through. Justice for Summer. And she's over here. Hey, Candus, did you hear that? Yeah. What? These people are pouring their heart out to you and you can't even give them the time of day or the courtesy to pay attention to them? And you guys think the woman's innocent? And the next thing she does is turn around in the middle of him talking about these sincere statements that these people, his followers, are posting for, and she pops up and says, "Where's Benny?" As if she's not even paying attention to what these people are even saying. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Yeah. Right. That's why I said, I kept wondering, where did this come from? Because they've been so tight-lipped about this whole entire case. It didn't clear the parents. Where is this, they passed polygraphs. If they're not coming out talking about the case, then they're not telling people that they passed the polygraph. Where did it come from? And then everything I've read, it said, Don said, Don said, Don said, Don said, Don said. So Don's the one pushing this message that everybody passed these polygraphs. But who in law enforcement have we heard state to us? Not to a news reporter, come out and say, like Ronnie Lawson, come to the podium and say, I just wanted to let you know that Don Wells and Candus Bly did pass their polygraph. When have we received that? When have we received that? If we have, somebody send me the link. Somebody send me the link. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. So, and then I started looking into how many people have been convicted of murder that passed the polygraph test, right? That's a little scary. So people have been convicted of murder, first degree, second degree, manslaughter, all these types of things. And they passed their polygraph. That's why polygraphs are not used or admissible in a court of law. No matter how many times people want to say that they're a science and, and granted, they can be used as an investigatory tool, but they're not confident. They're not, people can screw with them. People's body types, people's mind types. There's just a lot of things that go into even the person that's giving it. You know, you never know. The machine could be not calibrated right. There's so many things that could go wrong with a lie detector test. This is why they're not admissible in a court of law. And when you see everybody else, go out there, ask how many people have been murdered and murderers that have passed their lie detector test. You'll be quite shocked. You'll be quite shocked. Quite a few. So even if they did pass their lie detector, it doesn't mean crap to me. How do I know if she wasn't standing on a pin? There are countermeasures. The countermeasures. I went and researched Google and I can't find where it states Don passed it. And then everything in there just kept saying Don said, Candus passed. Don says Candus passed. Don Wells said on da 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 that Candus passed. And I'm like, is this made up by Don or or is law enforcement coming out? I can't see where law enforcement came out and instead stated it to anyone that these people have passed. I could be wrong. Yes, the whole statement that Ronnie Lawson stated about Don and Candus not being cooperative and lawyering up was an interview that aired on WJHL. Yes, that is correct. Oh, wow. So thank you, Darlene, for the support and also providing this. So Darlene is saying Evil Exist has pictures that could show Summer died on Monday. It's worth looking at his last couple videos. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? If that does come to be true, that will be insane because Dudley said that, if you guys recall in the interview, he talked about how weird Don was acting. And, we had confirmed, but again, who did we confirm that Summer was, who was in the inner circle of Summer Wells on the 15th? Hunter and Candus and Grandis. Could something have happened that Monday? Definitely something to think about. It's definitely something to think about. Dr. Phil said they did. Okay, I haven't heard it from law enforcement. Yeah, Dr. Phil said they did. But again, all these people, all these news people are the only people I heard it from. I have not heard it come out of law enforcement's mouth. I really haven't. And how did Dr. Phil find out about it? Did he reach out to law enforcement? Did law enforcement tell him just because he's a big time show? Or did he talk to Don and Don said, yeah, we passed it? Again, we don't know where that information came from. We don't know where that information came from. And not only that, but even if law enforcement said that they did pass when they didn't, maybe they did that because they didn't want them being nervous or fleeing. We don't know. We really don't know. And maybe that's the reason why law enforcement won't come out on the record and say that they passed the lie detector test, because they don't want to lie to the public. Again, who knows? Because if they came out, if the parents aren't involved and they came out and said the parents aren't involved, we want to let the public know, they would let the public know that. They're looking at other people. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. As a matter of fact, law enforcement's doubling down, right? They're going in and around their property to look for them. They're going to the public and saying, hey, no, these people are not cooperating. And they have lawyered up. And no matter how you turn that or twist that, I don't see any good purpose Ronnie Lawson would have to lie to the public. Why would he lie to the public about that? Just answer that. What good would it have done to lie to the public about that? What is he accomplishing by lying to the public about that? I'm curious to find out what your even those people that disagree with me, tell me why. Tell me why. But who said that? That's the question I'm asking is, where was that in an article? Because I want to hear law enforcement saying that. I'm curious how do we know that's not a rumor? You see what I'm saying? It's not. I'd like to follow the source back to the beginning. Who said this? I need to follow it back. So yeah, we hear that. That's what we heard. I've heard more stories than that. I heard she took it 4 or 5 times. So that's why I can't rely on the rumor mills. I have to trace it back somewhere. And I want to trace those statements back to law enforcement, the ones that did this. And that's the problem I have is I put this stuff in, I'm trying to follow it, I'm trying to research it, and it goes nowhere. It just dies as if somebody made this up and peddled this. Yeah, exactly. Bingo, Okie. Bingo. Has anybody noticed that? She has cleaned up her act on YouTube. It does sound like she lawyered up. Her actions are that of lawyering up. I'm telling you, I don't see any reason why the sheriff would lie. And again, I'm not the sheriff's biggest fan. I'm not. He's getting some checks in the right box in the camp. I can tell you that. Finally getting up and doing his job, giving a little tidbit of information, letting the public know to quit financing this monster. But people are still financing her anyways. They will not believe it. These people are so twisted in their mind that even after she goes to jail, many will not believe she had anything to do with her daughter. Even when she's convicted, people won't believe it. There are just some sick people out there that thinks that if they think it, it has to be true. If they think it, it has to be true. They don't care about the evidence. They don't care about the life lost. I would never, and I hope people understand that. And I hope you guys don't do it. And if you did, it's okay. Me personally, I don't know if I could sleep at night if I gave 1 cent to a monster. Not 1 red cent. If you did, don't do anymore. Please don't do anymore. You wait from moving forward. Take this as a life lesson. You wait until those parents are cleared. Because you know what? If you really are on the side of justice for Summer and you're financing her mother and her mother comes out to be the one that got her gone, that disappeared her, you just financed the one that you've been looking for the justice for Summer. You just gave her money, your hard-earned money. It's not worth it. And talk about the grief you're going to have to deal with once you find out that you helped fund somebody. Let the parents get cleared. Let the parents get cleared. Once they're cleared, help them every way imaginable. Help them every way imaginable. But until that point comes where they're cleared, where they're no longer involved, where they're moved on to real suspects, they are the suspect. Just be careful. Be careful, because you can't be justice for Summer and financing the person that took her off this earth. It just doesn't work that way. Quit being manipulated. Quit being manipulated. It's the right thing to do. No, it's not. The right thing to do is do your due diligence and not back somebody that did a horrible thing to a child. This thing about, well, due process. You know what? You don't have to take every single case that comes out, right? But if you're going to back the parents, you better know damn good and well that the parents were not involved. To me, to hear this other YouTuber talk about Jacqueline and Trezell West, well, I had to do it, and then to find out that they most likely had their other kids help. You are sick. You should have done your job right the first time. You do not have or owe a parent anything. Just because it's high profile, you don't owe that parent jack crap. You didn't have to to say anything about that case, but to stick up for the parents and to talk all this stuff helping the parents and then find out that they did these despicable acts. When this happens again for the Wells and you were the biggest champion for the Wells parents, your credibility just went into the tank. Because we know now all you're about is the clicks and the money, because you're not about the truth, because you got it wrong so many times. It seems to me that all you're looking for is the popularity of getting close to the parents. I don't work that way. I don't work that way. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let me keep going. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. The Native people in East Tennessee are friendly, and absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. And that's what we wanted to convey, because there were so many um, bad things we were hearing on YouTube about, these people. Basically, these people are heathens and crazies. And when we get out there, it's a cute downtown. Rogersville downtown was very cute. Those a lot of those stores are owned by locals and ran by locals, and people there were very well mannered, open, respectful. Nothing like what people were portraying on the internet. These people were kind, good, wholesome people that are bending over backwards, plastering Summer's face everywhere that they can plaster Summer's face to bring attention to this baby. It was a beautiful sight, much different than Moab, Utah, where we went out there and Crystal and Kylan were just, a past thought. Nothing out there was there to remind people of those two beautiful souls that were lost in Moab. Anywhere you walked in Rogersville, over to the other county over, I'm telling you, both Hawkins County and the other county plastered. You couldn't walk into any store without seeing Summer Well's face. It was sad, but it was beautiful. It was sad, but it was beautiful. And it showed these two counties uniting for this baby girl. It was really, it's sad, but beautiful. It really is, and that's the only way I can describe it. But, these people were good, wholesome people, nice people. Again, people were, when they seen us out there, and it's not like, I know they knew we were coming because of all the hell that was raised because we were going. People, when they saw us out there on the side of the road, they started pulling over. They wanted to talk to us. They wanted us to hear their story. They wanted us to hear their story about their experiences. And, that's the difference. We weren't sitting up there hanging out with Don and Candus. You have to have some arm's length between you and the persons of interest and people in the case. You can't be buddy with them. If you start becoming friends with them, you can't think clearly to make a proper determination on what's really going on, because you're blinded by that friendship. If I'm friends with anybody, it's people that are removed from the case. For example, we were out there looking for, Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner, the murder. We were friends. We became very good friends with Crystal Turner's cousin, Diane. And we had a good connection with her mother. They were nowhere near the crime scene. They were in Arkansas. The girls were killed in Utah. You see the difference? If they would have been if any possibility of going up on our board, we couldn't have that connection with them, because we have to have that arm's length. We have to have that, have them removed so we can look at everything in an analytical, statistical manner with information. You can't be buddy with somebody and think that you're going to be unbiased with your stuff. People are saying I'm biased against Don and Candus. Well, yes, it's because I've done the work. I can now decide which way I want to go here. But I'm definitely not going to go buddy with them, especially all the stuff I know. And especially the fact that law enforcement hasn't cleared them. You know what? I could be wrong. I could wake up tomorrow and they say, well, we cleared Don Wells and Candace Bly of anything. You know what? I'll eat crow. I'll eat crow. I'll have a big apology because I'm a woman and I handle my business like that. I'll eat crow. I don't believe that we're going to wake up and hear that. I really don't. I don't believe that at all. And that's the problem I have too. Yeah. And quite frankly, I understand, you know, the religious people doing it. You know, the religious people always want to you know, the preachers and things like that always want to pray for people and save their soul and you know, that's just what's expected. But to be hanging out with them like Robin Lane with her children, just bad news, bad news. And even that lady that's helping Candus with her YouTube page that had her daughter or son or kid on the couch behind Candus. How dare you put your child in danger just because you don't want to believe Candus is capable of that? It's no different, again, than letting your child go to a sex predator's house and be watched by them just because you don't think they're guilty of the crime. You just put your child in danger. You just put your child in danger because you didn't want to believe it. Always err on the side of caution when it comes to your children. You want to make stupid decisions? Make them for yourself, but you don't do them for your innocent children. You just don't. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Betty fan. Thank you. We love you. We love all the support. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's a good idea, Red. It's a good idea, Red. It is a good idea. Maybe I'll put that on the list. I never come back to this list. I don't even know why I write crap in this book anymore. I am so bad, right? I really am. Where are my pens? I'm in my office and can't find my pen, but I can find sunscreen. I can find sunscreen, but I can't find a pen. Yep. I think you guys, don't forget, I think you guys will really enjoy the interview I'm going to have this afternoon at 5 p.m. Again, it's not going to be live at 5 p.m. We will be going. I may run it tomorrow night, depending on how it goes, but I have a funny feeling it's going to wait until Tuesday. Tuesday morning, our coffee club, we are going to have it a little bit earlier than we did today. It's probably going because I've got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. I've got to go to my Board of County Commissioner meetings and my school board meeting tomorrow. So I've got to be pushing out of here. I've got to close everything down by about 8 o'clock and I've got to be downtown by 9. So I definitely want to make sure that I can run and air the interview. It's only going to be about a half an hour, 40 minutes. But did want to let you guys know. Wanted to let you guys know that that is forthcoming. It's going to be a great, powerful interview. And I hope you guys really do enjoy it. Yeah, you know, we still have to figure out what the heck is going on with you know. But you know what I find odd? There's only one connecting person. Everybody thinks Candus may have had something to do with it, but I heard that Candus wasn't even in the state when her sister disappeared. So far, the people that are in and around both of these cases is just one person. Her name's Candus. She was there with her daughter, Rose. She was here with Summer. One person in both of those cases in and around the case. Just one that I can find. That I can find. Yeah, me too. Me too. And that's what we heard. That's what we heard. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate for all the love and support. Thank you. Thank you. So, it's sad the amount of people that have gone missing or killed during the last 2 years. Yes, it is, and you know what? We're very thankful that um, these people are coming to light, though. This is all starting to hit now. There was a time when we didn't know any of this was going on. There was a time we didn't know any of this was going on. So information used to come in very, very slow. Back in the TV, when the TV was first coming out, you didn't really have any real way of getting the information out except through the newspapers and telephones. And even that was limited because these people had segments on the TV. They were running their programs on TV. So the news, they had just a couple hours to get everything out. They can't do that. Social media has been just, like newspapers were the news organ. Now, then it went to TV, and TV was the big, whoop-de-doo. Now it's this internet, and the internet is getting things out before mainstream media is. We're finding out if we waited for the news on mainstream media, we're behind times. We're behind times, and I think that's why cable is becoming extinct. I think it's a dying breed. I think cable TV is going out. I think more people are going to be going to the internet, to streaming services, and a lot of people have already made the conversion to streaming services. I think the regular, spectrums and FiOS and all that stuff. I think that, I mean, the FiOS is the internet portion of it. I think that's going to be what these cable companies end up turning to. I think cable and TV is dying. It's dying. Like who wants to watch go on A&E when they can come here and watch the program or have people talk about it or have more of a personal connection with what's going on and more interactive than watching it on TV. So I think it's a dying breed. Do you think? No, I do not. I don't think that child was Summer Wells at all. Listen, folks. Um, I want to hold out hope for Summer Wells to be brought home alive. Okay. I don't think that is going to happen. I don't want to burst people's bubble. I don't want to break people's heart. But at the end of the day, she has not been seen from in 9 months. The probability of her being dead are very, very high. Um, I want to be an optimist, but I'm also a realist here. And honestly, folks, this is a pipe dream. If you think she was abducted, if you think she's okay, if you think she's being sex trafficked, that means she's alive. And I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I'm not one that's going to tell people something because it's what they want to hear. I'm sorry. I wish trust me, I wish I could say that she's going to arrive alive. And everybody knows what my one true goal is for this year, and it's to bring somebody home alive. That's truly my goal. Will I find it? Will I reach it? Well, I don't know. That is my only goal this year is to find somebody and bring them home alive. That's what my goal is. My goal is, right? Or assist, right, in bringing somebody home alive. And if that would be summer, I would love it to be, but I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think something grave happened to her, and I think Don and Candace covered it up. And it's kind of hard for me to think that she's going to be coming home if that's my opinion of what happened, right? So I don't believe she's alive. I don't believe she was in that hotel room. I don't believe we're ever going to see Summer Wells again. I really don't. And I wish I didn't have horrible news like that, but that's just what I believe. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Delphi, Indiana. Okay, thank you, Jay. Thank you. Oh, hi, Sweden. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you. Hmm. No excuse for parents, especially the mother, to take a child's life. That's just pure evil. Exactly. And that's why I said you can't support parents until they're fully cleared. You got to have them fully cleared. They have to be fully cleared. I mean, I cannot live with myself or sleep at night knowing that I sponsored a monster. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. That's what I'm seeing too. Okay. I heard they have court one day this month with CPS. Now just okay. So this is what we're hearing. So it hasn't been confirmed for all those folks out there. Okay. Maybe, but after 9 months, if they haven't been led to summer, I don't know if they're going to be. I really don't. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, Kathy, but I haven't watched it yet. I saw it come through. I got to go back and watch it, and I'll probably do that later today. I got to go get some supplies and materials today. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. But that's a story for another day. My big whoops. That's cost me money. Anyways, all right, guys. Let's see what else we got going on here. No, Betty Fan, I'm not. I'm drinking coffee with my. I'm making with my peppermint mocha, and I'm topping it with whipped cream. I'm being my own barista today. Being my own barista. Honestly, they would not answer our questions. All we could do was give them information that we found out and talk to them about our perception and our views on the situation. I can tell you that there were a few things that, like, law enforcement has body language too, so you could, even though they didn't say anything, you might be able to tell them bobbing their head one way or the other, or their positioning of their body, or how they are holding themselves, handling themselves, whether you're on the right track or not. But no, they would not give us any information. Like, I even asked them about the dogs, like, could a for example, there's that the graveyard, whatever, right across the street from the wells. So my question was to law enforcement was, could a dog, a cadaver dog, you know, look for somebody that's dead in a cemetery, with all the cadavers in the cemetery? And they wouldn't answer that question. So they're keeping a lot of things close to their chest. But we're able to tell them, that we thought, based upon our interview with Allie and their mom and her mom and grandmother, that we actually thought that Summer knew more than he elaborated, and that we recommend them getting some counseling for him, because he's not been the same since. And at the end of the day, we want that boy taken care of. We want to make sure that he's not affected by these events for the rest of his life. I mean, that could cause some major problems. So, yeah. And there's a lot of speculation on that video when it was taken with her swimming at the watering hole, as well as, when the video was taken in the back of the car. again, law enforcement has their phones, has their data, can petition the data from the carriers of their phones. But one thing I did find odd is that Don told us that Hawkins County deleted everything from 3:30 to 6:30 on the day in question, July 15th or June 15th, rather. And I've never heard that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I've never heard that. I've never heard that before. What I can tell you is it almost sounds like they may have deleted it. And law enforcement gave their phones back a heck of from what I hear, Hunter has not received his phone back from law enforcement yet, which is telling. But what I do find odd is that Don, Candus, and Grandis got their phones back within the next. That means that whatever they must have wiped stuff. The phones were useless. They would have to go the long way around to get the information from their phone. A lot of people don't realize those takes months sometimes to get that stuff. Going through the process of getting subpoenas and things of that nature. It does take, there is a process that goes in there. Did they just start getting those in? I don't know. But the idea that there is no forensics, there is no digital forensics and things of that nature, I don't believe that. I believe there are digital footprints. I believe there's digital footprints for Candus, Grandis, and Don. I don't know what to think about that Tim Mullins guy. Yes, yeah, Elizabeth, exactly. She took a nap. So, what are my thoughts on it? I again think that it's funny that the story changes. It's not people. It's the little changes. It's these little details that keep changing. The problem is with these little details that keep changing is why? Because the truth is the truth no matter what. Why are we finding out 9 months later that there was a nap involved in this day? For 9 months, we have not heard one time about a nap. Now all of a sudden, Grandis is taking a nap. It sounds to me that more like she's actually trying to distance herself from anything while I was sleeping. That sounds like a distancing mechanism, in my opinion. It really does. It seems completely distancing. She's trying to remove herself subconsciously from that day. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Thank you, Anissa. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, we are at the top of the 2 hours. I want to remind you, I'm going to go through here real quick and see if there's any other important questions. I know you guys talk amongst yourselves. In tattoos, it's possible. It's possible because, even Dudley had said the same thing, but, we had enough information that stated that she was there in living color on the 15th. And that's why we went along with it. But, when we go back and listen to why we thought that, is because of Hunter's statement. And it's because of Allie's statement. Allie said that, she went out to the vehicle and Candus would not allow her to roll down the window and say bye to her. So we assumed something happened at that water hole that day because of all these things that transpired. But could it have been possible? Well, even Candus said that Summer came in and they changed her bathing suit. Not Candus, Allie changed Summer's bathing suit in her living room. So I do believe that, it's starting. I'm curious to see where this goes. But if for any reason we find out that something happened to Summer the day before, then I'm going to start looking more at this based on the information that we acquired related to her date of disappearance, which is June 15th. It looks like it's an accident. If for any reason the timeline does change, which I don't think it will, I really don't. But if the timeline changed to the day before, we have a whole different set of scenarios. We have a whole different set of what could potentially have happened. And if that were the case, it would be more in line with not an accident. We'll say it like that. But I do believe that she did disappear on the 15th. I do believe she was alive. There was enough people, enough firsthand witnesses stating that they did see Summer walking So on the 15th. So not walking around, but just up, going in the house, leaving the house, getting dressed, getting her bathing suit on to go to the water hole. These are things that she would have done, as a living person. So I do believe there's enough information there saying that she was alive on the June 15th. So that's where, but if things it did change, just saying, if things did change, we're not looking at an accident scenario. We're looking at more of a premeditated something or other. So, but I can tell you, it doesn't. The evidence is not going that she died any other day but June 15th, or died, missing, reported missing. I still believe she is no longer with us. It did sound like that, but we all know she was there. I mean, we all know that she was there, but we'll have to go back. I'll have to look at the interview in its entirety. I've already watched it once. I know some people have already broke it down. I mean, I hate doing the same thing over and over again, especially because a lot of you guys watch all the same channels as I do, Chris McDonough, Duty Ron. We're all looking for the information that needs to be had. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what's shaking. Yeah. And it was odd because that was the first time we heard that. And they're the little inconsistencies that we're constantly seeing in the story line change and that are consistent with people being involved. Yeah, actually, Candace, even though you have the same name as her mother, you spell it much different than her mother does. Uh, same question I have. Same question I have. But there was just some people that are manipulated by the truth that like to be on the opposing end. They like to that's their shit, right? Um they like being wrong. I don't know what to say. They like being wrong. It's not funny, but yeah, I if they want to support a woman that has done despicable things to their child, there is nobody better to support than Candace Wells. If that's what you want to be supporting, you're by God, you're allowed to support whoever you want to support. But don't elude yourself to think that she's a good person. She's not. She is an abusive woman. She abused her children. She made them live in squalor. She made them live in filth. She beat them. Don beat them. Don hit Josie in the face multiple times, drank with underage children, smoked marijuana with underage children. The list goes on and on. So if you want to support that, you do it, but you're going to do it with your eyes wide open. You're going to do it with your eyes wide open because I will be screaming this garbage from the rooftop. Anyways, guys, I wasn't able to get to all of your questions. I hope the other people in here, I hope you guys had a nice time chatting with each other. Thank you. Let's see what we got. I know. I know. I know. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick, Elizabeth. Like, and I still can't figure out, and we'll discuss this probably not tomorrow because I'm going to well, we might discuss it tomorrow because we're going to have that. I'm going to be rolling with that interview. Again, tonight at 5 o'clock, I'm having an interview with an author. And even though I'm not bringing it live, we will air it tomorrow on our Coffee Club Live. And we'll be chatting about it. I think you guys are going to find it being very informative and very interesting. So please, by all means, everybody, please stay tuned. Yes, I understand that, Loretta, but that was Brian Inton saying that Ronnie Lawson stated that they passed the lie detector test. I'm talking about, and this is what I say every time I come on here, and people keep coming back and saying the same exact thing. That's not what I'm talking about. So I want to hear Ronnie's. I want to see Ronnie Lawson's face on TV telling me that Don and Candus passed their lie detector test. Brian Inton said Ronnie Lawson said it. We have not seen it come out of law enforcement's mouth. That is physical mouth. That's what I'm talking about. Not saying I'm not coming down on you or anything. I'm just expressing what I'm saying. I know it has been said. I know it's been said, and I even prefaced that outside of Brian Inton stating that Ronnie Lawson said they passed. I want to hear it coming out of the mouth of law enforcement. I want to see them on TV, like you see me right now, say Don and Candus passed their polygraph test. I want to hear it coming from their mouth, from their face on a TV channel so I can see them say it. I don't want it being alleged. I don't want a news reporter saying that Ronnie Lawson said it. If you have Ronnie Lawson sitting down for an interview, if he said that, why don't you have that on the interview? Right? Why don't you have him saying it out of his mouth on the interview? You have him for everything else, but that's a key important spot, and you can't put his face on TV with Ronnie Lawson saying they passed the law polygraph test. That's what I want to see. And I'm not yelling at you or anything like that, Loretta. I do get excited with that. I'm just wanting to express specifically what I'm trying to say. So thank you. Thank you for that comment. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, I am out. I just want to tell you, I think you guys are all beautiful people. Happy Monday. Go make it a great day, and God bless each and every one of you. If you haven't had an opportunity to speak to your friends, please do so. Tomorrow is never promised. Pick up the phones, hold your family a little tighter today. And again, God bless each and every one of you. Go rock your week out.